All right, let's look at a couple of interviews from the last 24 hours from the two men who, if they both run, are the likely front runners in the 2024 Republican primary. We're going to start with Ron DeSantis and then look at Donald Trump. Ron DeSantis is on what, according to many, is a very ill-advised trip to Asia right now. Flooding and gas lines in Florida, all sorts of problems that are self-inflicted, quite frankly, by Ron DeSantis. And he was in Japan yesterday and I believe now in Korea. Really a profile in courage in South Korea, that is, you might imagine. And during the Hannity hour last night on Fox News, which I guess coincides conveniently with the time difference with where Ron DeSantis is, Ron DeSantis was interviewed. Now, there's a logistical problem and then there's a substance problem. The logistical problem, as you will notice, is that somehow they set DeSantis up facing the sun. And he's squinting the entire interview. He looks visibly uncomfortable. Now, DeSantis often looks visibly uncomfortable, even in a well-lit, cool room. But here he looks extra uncomfortable. So I don't know, this was a scheduled interview. Why they have him staring into the sun, I don't really know. Maybe it's because Trump stared at the eclipse that time and they wanted to do the same thing. Unclear. But DeSantis generally is just not really understanding how to properly answer basic questions. In this clip, Hannity asks DeSantis, what happened to your relationship with Donald Trump? Here's his answer.
The last time I interviewed President Trump, I was there in 2018, and I always saw the two of you as friends. And I said to him,
you guys were friends.
It's a very simple question I asked him. I said, what happened? And I think it's only fair to ask you the same question. What do you think happened?
You know, I enjoyed supporting him when he was president. We worked really hard for his reelection in Florida, and I always had a good relationship with him. And then once the midterm election happened, he started taking shots at me. I didn't really do anything to do it except do a good job, but that's fine. I mean, Sean, you know, when you're making things happen, you take incoming from a variety of targets. So that's just the nature of the business, and I'm happy to stand strong and do what's right.
All right, guys. I don't think DeSantis can do it. This is such a weak answer by the standards of what Republican voters want. Think of it. Now, DeSantis isn't wrong. Listen, DeSantis is accurately pointing out he used to like me, then he stopped liking me when it became clear that DeSantis wasn't backing down from challenging Trump in 2024. This is how it all started. Remember that what happened was DeSantis was asked, would you consider running in 2024? And would you commit to only doing it if Trump isn't running? And DeSantis didn't rule out, no, I might run even if Trump runs. I might challenge Trump. This was seen as disloyal by Trump. And that's why all of this started. So DeSantis's assessment is 100% correct. Trump just started going after me and I'm not going to get involved in it. This is so pathetic and weak looking from the standards of these Republican voters. He's basically saying, I don't know, he just went after me and I'm doing nothing. Now, you and I might say, you need someone taking the high road. In fact, it would be better to have someone who's not even involved in this nonsense. Someone like a Mitt Romney or a Liz Cheney or whatever else the case may be. I'm with you on a personal level, but this is weak stuff. This is not going to, if you think Trump's got 52% right now, DeSantis has 24%, and in order to win, DeSantis has to figure out some way to get up to and beyond 50%. This isn't going to help him. He sounds whiny. He sounds pathetic. And the interview continued, and it really isn't great for DeSantis. Here, asked again about the attacks, and he says, I'm just going to do what's right.
That's fine. I mean, Sean, you know, when you're making things happen, you take incoming from a variety of targets. So that's just the nature of the business, and I'm happy to stand strong and do what's right.
All right, Governor, have a great trip. We appreciate you joining us.
Okay, and I thought we actually had new stuff there, but it seems sort of like a retread of a lot of the same stuff. So this is not a guy who you see and you say, wow, projecting strength, projecting confidence, projecting an inspiring and electric alternative vision to what Trump gives us. Hey, you know what? I was a Trump person. Maybe I'll go for DeSantis instead. It's maybe good enough to kind of clean up the hangers-on and the dregs of the opposition to Trump that is already there, but it's not going to coalesce people around you and restructure the dynamic of this primary in a way that's going to let you win it. It's just not going to do any of that. So now the question for DeSantis is, does he even announce? Does he try to wait till 2024? Does he forget about the presidency altogether? Does he risk possibly humiliation, quite frankly? I mean, it is totally, he really doesn't seem to have what it takes. And if he enters this race with Trump at 52 and DeSantis at 24 and doesn't have some way to strongly gain support, he could end up truly humiliated. And it would be an entertaining watch from a political strategy standpoint, be sort of a strange thing. So that's the DeSantis interview from yesterday. Let's now look at the Trump interview.